On the 15th of November, 2022, over 3.5 million people logged on at the same time for one reason: Taylor Swift tickets. 14 million requests hit one website in a single day. By the end of the night, the site had crashed, fans were locked out, and one of the biggest names in live entertainment was staring down a crisis that would eventually land in front of the United States Congress. This is the story of the Eras Tour presale disaster and how it turned millions of fans against the two biggest names in ticketing. By late 2022, Taylor Swift was preparing for the Eras Tour, a career-spanning stadium run that would go on to become the highest-grossing tour in music history. Demand was massive before a single ticket even went on sale. Fans had registered by the millions through Ticketmaster's verified fan program, a system designed to filter out bots and reduce scalping. On paper, it looked like a solution. In practice, it was about to become the center of one of the biggest consumer backlash stories in modern entertainment. The presale was scheduled for November 15th, open only to fans who had received a special code. Almost immediately, things went wrong. Fans reported multi-hour queues that didn't move. Others were logged out mid-purchase and lost their place entirely. Some received codes that never worked at all. Ticketmaster later said the day saw historically unprecedented demand, traffic 4 times higher than its previous record. But for the fans staring at spinning loading screens for hours, the explanation didn't matter. What mattered was that a system built specifically to manage this exact moment had buckled under it. By the end of the day, Ticketmaster made a decision that would ignite the controversy even further. It cancelled the general public sale entirely, citing insufficient remaining inventory. Fans who had waited months, some had waited years, for a shot at tickets were left with nothing. The reaction was immediate and enormous. The hashtag Ticketmaster is a monopoly started trending within hours. Fans flooded social media with screenshots of 6-hour queues and error messages. But this wasn't just an online venting session. It escalated fast. Lawmakers on both sides of the political aisle began publicly questioning Live Nation Ticketmaster's parent company about its market dominance. Senator Amy Klobuchar sent a formal letter demanding answers. Days later, Ticketmaster executives were called to testify in front of the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee. Then, in May 2024, the story reached its biggest turning point yet: the U.S. Department of Justice, joined by attorneys general from 30 states, filed a federal antitrust lawsuit against Live Nation and Ticketmaster, seeking to break up the merger between the two companies entirely. What started as a rough night for fans trying to buy tickets had become a full-blown federal case about how live music is sold in America. The fallout reached far beyond one bad night. Ticketmaster's public image took a hit it still hasn't fully recovered from. Congressional hearings put a spotlight on ticket fees, resale markups, and the company's outsized control over the live events industry. For Taylor Swift herself, the situation was delicate. She wasn't the one running the ticketing system, but her name was now permanently tied to the biggest ticketing scandal in modern music history. She later addressed the chaos publicly, saying it was excruciating to watch fans go through that experience trying to see her show. Meanwhile, opportunists moved in fast. 2 individuals were later criminally charged after hacking over 900 Eras Tour tickets on the resale site StubHub, pocketing more than $500,000 in illegal profits before they were caught. And the regulatory ripple effects kept going. New federal rules eventually targeted hidden ticket fees, and price gouging by resellers became a national policy conversation, all traced back to that one November night. What makes this story so strange, looking back, is that nobody involved wanted this outcome. Ticketmaster didn't want a system failure that would trigger a federal antitrust case. Fans didn't want to spend their morning refreshing a loading screen instead of buying a ticket. And Taylor Swift certainly didn't want her tour launch overshadowed by a controversy that had nothing to do with her music. But that's often how the biggest scandals work. they're rarely started on purpose. They're the result of a system that wasn't built to handle the moment it was tested by, and once it breaks, everyone downstream pays the price. The Eras Tour would go on to become the highest-grossing tour of all time. But its opening chapter will always be remembered for something that happened before a single song was played, a website that couldn't keep up with the moment, and a fan base that made sure the world noticed. So the next time you see a headline about a ticket-buying meltdown for a major tour, remember, this is the story that started the conversation. If you want to see more stories like this, the real events behind Hollywood's biggest headlines, subscribe to Frame and Fallout and let me know in the comments which story you want covered next.